Good morning. I'd like to call to order our February 19th Post Falls Urban Renewal Agency. Can we do a commissioner roll call?
Aye.
Coles,
Here.
Fleshman,
Here.
Clemenson,
Here.
Rodriguez,
Here.
Parmentier,
Here.
and Commissioner Crosby is not in attendance with an excused absence.
Okay, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you for being here. We've got ceremonies, appointments, and announcements.
The only thing I wanted to do was simply to announce for the record that Councilor Bredesen is unable to be in attendance due to an unforeseen scheduling issue. So we'll be able to proceed without his legal counsel, but I think everything's been covered ahead of time.
Sure. And if there's any questions or concerns, we can table some items until we do have him here. Our consent calendar.
Good morning, Commissioners. Item
Oh,
A.
I'm sorry, I missed conflict disclosures. Do we have any conflict disclosures? I apologize. Okay.
All right. Item A in the consent calendar is the commission meeting minutes, January 28th, 2026. Item B is the payables for this month totaling $22,513.21. Item C is the bank activity report, which shows total funds in all accounts of $5,559,135.19 and accrued interest for the month of $10,713.43. Item D is the financial reports as of January 31st. Approval of the consent calendar will authorize a transfer of $22,513.21 to the First Interstate checking account for the monthly payables and $10,713.43 accrued interest to the general fund. Chair Fleshman, I would answer any questions.
I don't have any questions. Does anyone else have
Move
any
to
questions?
approve the consent calendar. Second.
Okay, I'll carry out a roll call vote. Clemenson,
Aye.
Parmentier,
Aye.
Rodriguez,
Aye.
Fleshman,
Aye.
Coles,
Aye.
Leffel.
Aye.
Okay. That was approved. Thank you. We've got committee updates, finance and policy. Coles, you're standing in for
Filling in for
Len.
Lynn. The January bank statement financial reports were reviewed by Commissioner Crosby. Treasurer Crosby reviewed the completed audit, the auditor's report to the commission, and the management letter. The auditor's report indicates that the financial reporting for Post Falls Urban Renewal Agency is in full compliance with generally accepted accounting standards and requirements, that all transactions entered into by the commission had authoritative guidance or consensus, that all significant transactions have been disclosed and recognized in the commission's monthly financial statement and reports. No issues or concerns.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? District review, we have not had a meeting, and I am no longer chair of the district review, but we have nothing to report as of today. Communications, property, and personnel.
Nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay, moving right along. Citizens' comments. This section of the agenda is reserved for citizens wishing to address the commission regarding an agency-related issue. Comments related to future public hearings should be held for that public hearing. Persons wishing to speak will have 5 minutes. Do we have anyone that wants to speak? Unfinished business.
Going to address you from the front here, just to simplify things. First item of unfinished business is the order of approval reimbursement of Post Falls Aerie number 3682, Fraternal Order of Eagles Incorporated. This order of approval, drafted by Councilor Bredesen, is for the agency's inaugural minor project program in the downtown urban renewal district. The commission previously approved engaging in a minor project participation agreement on June 19th, 2025. For today's consideration is the reimbursement associated with the project located at 209 East 2nd Avenue in the downtown urban renewal district, as recommended by the agency's consulting engineers.
Are we looking for approval on this?
Discussion,
Discussion.
approval.
Questions?
What was the amount of that reimbursement again?
The amount is $84,643.08.
Okay. I would move to approve as presented.
Second.
Okay, that passes. Oh, I think we need a roll call.
Yes. Coles,
Aye.
Parmentier,
Aye.
Leffel,
Aye.
Fleshman,
Aye.
Rodriguez,
Aye.
Clemenson.
Aye.
Okay, that does approve. Passes. Our next unfinished business item.
Is the owner participation agreement with CamKels Holdings LLC. This project is located at 102 East 4th Avenue, also known as the Nonna building. It is the site of a former dry cleaning and automotive repair activity. Portions of the project qualify for consideration as part of the following projects identified in the downtown district plan. It's a city center parking plan, street completion plan, which is a tier 1 project, and site remediation project, which is a tier 4 district plan item. This OPA, drafted by Councilor Bredesen and reviewed by the potential participant, is being presented for your consideration for approval as a standard project in the downtown urban renewal district.
Do we have any discussion, questions?
One question. This was tabled previously due to a change with the LLC's name that had to be
Correct.
updated.
Last month, it was going to be brought to you in the name of an individual, and since the initial contact with the participant, they have put the property into the name of CamKels Holdings LLC.
So is it just basically an administrative change?
That's all it
No,
was.
no substantive change to the,
Nothing else, no.
Okay.
Any other questions or discussion?
I'd move to approve.
Second.
Right, I will ask for a roll call vote. Fleshman,
Aye.
Leffel,
Aye.
Parmentier,
Aye.
Rodriguez,
Aye.
Coles,
Abstain.
Clemenson.
Aye.
All right, the motion has carried.
All right, we'll move on to new business. Exciting, exciting, the audit presentation.
I'd like to introduce Tony Hackwith of Alpine Summit CPAs. Tony has been performing the agency's annual audit, I believe this is 3 years now. And this past year, we went through an RFP process to consider other potential participants in this process. And thankfully, Alpine Summit came in with not only the best price, but we feel like the best services and best qualifications. So without saying anything more, here's Tony to give you an overview of fiscal year 25 audit.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is on? Okay. I promise I will not go through the whole document. I'm just going to go give an overview of our reports. We issued 2 reports, and then a few financial highlights and answer any questions that you might have. Pages 1 through 3, that's our independent auditor's report. As a result of our audit procedures, we issue a report whether or not we feel that your financial statements are materially correct. And the report that we've issued is called an unmodified opinion. I know it sounds kind of negative, but we also call it a clean opinion. It means that your financial information, based on our audit procedures, you're materially correct. We did not have any findings or feel like there was anything that was incorrect as far as your financial statements. Pages 4 through 10, this is called the Management's Discussion and Analysis. It's basically a narrative that you write over things that have happened during your fiscal year and some financial explanations and such. I'm not going to go through that. I will, though, if you turn to page 13. This is the balance sheet of the agency. And you can see at September 30th, 2025, you had $4.462 million of total assets, which your cash and your investments in the state investment pool make up the majority of that. Your state investment pool had $4.4 million. Compared to last year, you had about $3 million in the state investment pool. A lot of that is timing based on property tax revenues and then projects that have occurred or not occurred during the year.
I have a question. Regarding the state investment pools, is there any liquidity issue, or I'm not familiar with them, as far as withdrawing funds or rules in regards to that, even though it's an investment pool, so we're not obligated to hold funds for any particularly set amount of time? It's essentially, we can treat it like a cash bank account?
Yes, that's correct. Yes. Your liabilities were $7,300, sorry. And then the result of your assets less liabilities is what's called your fund balance. Basically, if you were to liquidate all your assets, pay all your bills, that's what would be left over. You have non-spendable part of fund balance is basically prepaid expenses that you've already paid for future periods. And then you have committed funds for the districts. And then your unassigned fund balance, which is available for discretionary spending, is $1.425 million. Any other questions on the balance sheet? So page 15, this is your statement of revenue, expenditures, and changes in your fund balance. Your total revenues are 2.4 this year. Of that, 2.19 were property tax revenues. Last year, your property tax revenues were about 1.5 million. So a bit of an increase. Your expenditures this year are $978,000, and last year were $1.2 million. So your overall revenues over expenses were $1.451 million this year. Last year, your revenues over expenses were about $524,000. And again, that's just based on the districts and the expenses and where the progress is in those. Okay. Pages 17 through 29, I'm not going to go through these either. These are what's called your footnotes to the financial statement, so they just give a more explanation of your accounting policies and then further explanation of your assets, investments, and things of that sort. And finally, another report that we issue, it's on page 33. As a governmental entity, we also have to issue a report on your internal controls and compliance over financial reporting. Again, we did not find any issues. We feel that the controls that you do have in place for the size of your entity are adequate. And then we did not find any issues with compliance with laws and regulations. And when I say that, that's specific towards your financial reporting, state statutes and things of that sort. So outside the scope of your legal, but just pertaining just to your financial information, your financial statements. I would be happy to answer any questions that any of you have.
Since you do have a few-year history, and also I'm new, has I'll just generally call it like our cash balance been increasing over time? It would seem, at least over last year, but I don't know about the history previous.
It fluctuates, really depending on the projects. You know, your projects are very large, so it just up and down fluctuates based on that. So I don't know if that answers your question.
There's not a foreseeable trend that I could discern, you know, it varies.
Yeah.
Okay. Any additional questions, comments? Okay. Joe, this is an action item.
Correct. So we need to have a roll call vote to, based upon a motion.
To approve.
Motion to
move to-
approve. Okay.
Move to accept the audit as presented.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Roll call vote.
All right. Coles,
Aye.
Rodriguez,
Aye.
Parmentier,
Aye.
Clemenson,
Aye.
Fleshman,
Aye.
Leffel.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you
Appreciate
for
your-
coming in.
Your
and
good
thank
work.
you.
And-
Thank you, I forgot to mention to Joe, because we put in this whole activity and asked for a lot of information.
Well, you and your team make it really easy, so they're very enjoyable to work with.
Thank you. Okay. Next item.
Next item in our new business is approval of semi-annual proponent reimbursements. Per agency policy number 7, tax increment received by the agency for each of the urban renewal districts is disbursed in February and August each year for project cost reimbursement. February reimbursement will take place as follows. In the downtown district, proponent developer A&A Construction and Development, a reimbursement of approved costs in the amount of $507,208.29, associated with an approval of costs from 2024. The remaining obligation will be $3,700,403.30. In the downtown district, our minor project program fund, the participant is Post Falls Aerie number 3682, also known as the Fraternal Order of Eagles, a reimbursement of $84,643.08 with a remaining obligation of $0. These reimbursements total $591,851.37. District fund balances after these reimbursements are as follows. In the downtown district minor project program, the remaining balance of $140,443.74. In the Post Falls Technology District, there is a current balance of $3,780,583.85. And in the Pleasant View District, we have basically a outstanding balance of $51,523.90 as a result of tax increment fund remittances not yet covering the agency's annual administration fee. Chair Fleshman, Commissioners, I would answer any questions.
Any questions?
What's the current I see the current fund balance for the downtown minor projects. What's the current fund balance for the downtown district? Which there is a difference or not?
Well, the minor project program is kind of a sub-fund within the downtown district. The minor projects program allows for the allocation of 15% of the annual tax increment revenues up to a maximum fund balance of $250,000. And so that the minor projects fund portion has the remaining balance, but in the standard portion, or what I tend to reference to as a standard project or standard portion of the district fund, as we provide semi-annual reimbursement at the present time to A&A, that drops down to zero.
Okay, so the balance is zero. Okay.
Yes.
And then, okay,
Any more questions?
no.
Okay, I think we're looking for a motion to approve the semi-annual proponent reimbursements.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Clemenson,
Aye.
Coles,
Aye.
Fleshman,
Aye.
Rodriguez,
Aye.
Parmentier,
Aye.
Leffel.
Aye.
Great, motion carries. Moving on to our 2025 annual report presentation.
Pardon me one moment. All right. Chair Fleshman, Commissioners, legal notice of the annual report was published on February 12th. No public comment has been received. This presentation I am providing to you is just an overview of the annual activities of the agency for calendar year 2025. The intent is that this will be provided to the City Council at their second meeting in March. That would be March 17th. Feel free to make any comments about revisions, clarifications, anything of that nature, and I will do that. I will incorporate those into the presentation that I will give to the City Council. The annual report is what required under Idaho Code 50-20 Urban Renewal Law, Chapter 2006, Paragraph 5, Subparagraph C. The purpose of the report is to give a report on activities for the preceding calendar year to the City Council by March 31st. Financial information required as part of the annual report documentation is available in both the City Clerk's office and the agency's office, as well as on our website, www.pfura.com. Our agency was created in 1991, and we're located in the Chamber of Commerce building. Our 2025 officers were Jamie Davis, the chair, Melissa Jeltness, vice chair, and Lynn Crosby, the treasurer. Our monthly commissions meetings are held on the third Thursday of each month in City Hall Council chambers. Most of the agency activities fall under one of the following committees, which meet as needed. Finance and Policy, which is chaired by Lynn Crosby. District Review Committee, which was chaired by Christy Fleshman. And the Communication, Property, and Personnel Committee, chaired by Eric Clemenson. Workshops are scheduled on an as-needed basis. The mission of the Post Falls Urban Renewal Agency is to encourage sound economic and community improvement that enhances the overall quality of life in Post Falls by providing and improving infrastructure, attracting jobs, and enhancing citizen safety and health. Here's a map showing the locations and names of active districts in 2025. It's important to understand that district proponents build public infrastructure and pay for it up front. The risk lies solely on them to bring in new businesses and expand the community's tax base, which results in additional property value and tax increment. Increment collected by the county is remitted on a monthly basis to the agency, and we reimburse the proponent semi-annually in February and August. Here's a map showing the agency's 7 closed urban renewal districts outlined. This map provides a clear view of how the city of Post Falls and the Urban Renewal Agency have effectively utilized the program to promote sound economic and community improvement in mostly commercial and industrial areas during the past 3 decades of growth. In our closed districts, the urban renewal funded improvement costs have totaled $68.4 million. Total district property valuation increase due to development during the term of these districts was $1.08 billion, equating to over $2.64 million in funds to the city of Post Falls alone. This continues annually as part of the city's expanded property tax base after urban renewal districts close. When a district has remaining tax increment funds at closure, the surplus is rebated to the taxing districts, which include City of Post Falls, Kootenai County Fire and Rescue, Community Library Network, North Idaho College, Kootenai EMS, Post Falls Highway District, and School District 273. When these urban renewal districts closed, rebates of unexpended funds totaling over $2.23 million were returned to the taxing districts. Historically, the agency has been proactive to return unobligated tax increment funds to the taxing districts during the term of an urban renewal district. In the East Post Falls District in 2009 and 2012, funds totaling $5.5 million were rebated. Development continuing to take place after district closures provides for increased tax revenue possibilities into the future for these taxing districts. And just as an add-on to the report at this present time, I'm in the process of gathering current valuation data for each of our closed urban renewal districts, just so I can provide a perspective of what the value of the closed districts is today, or as of 2025. I apologize for not having that incorporated in for this presentation. District proponents, participants in both the downtown and Post Falls technology districts have completed at their expense approved remediation and public infrastructure projects. The Post Falls Technology District, in the Post Falls Technology District, Beyond Green Incorporated has submitted a request for the reimbursement of costs associated with the shopping center portion of the district located northeast of Highway 41 and Prairie Avenue intersection. The request is currently undergoing review by the agency's consulting engineers. In the downtown district, the Urban Renewal Commission has approved costs totaling $6,115,511, and reimbursement made during 2025 according to agency policy and participant agreements has resulted in a remaining district obligation of $4,287,612. And lastly, there is no activity to report in the Pleasant View District. Urban renewal related activity in the Post Falls Technology District during 2025 consisted of the district proponent Beyond Green Incorporated completing construction of public infrastructure in and around the shopping center portion, designated as Zone C in the district plan. The district's first reimbursement request was submitted by Beyond Green Incorporated and is currently under review by the agency and its consulting engineers. The agency entered into an owner participation agreement with the North Idaho Healthcare Holdings, LLC, for the construction of public infrastructure related to the Prairie Medical Campus and vicinity located south of Prairie Avenue and east of Highway 41. Construction of public infrastructure identified in the revised projects list of the amended district plan is expected to begin in 2026. Urban renewal related activity in the downtown district during 2025 consisted of A&A construction and development's completion of project related infrastructure in Phase C, which is the orange area that's to the far left of that graphic, of the Millworks project area, as well as most of the construction in Phase F, which is yellow. I apologize for this not coming up as clearly. It's kind of in the middle of that. It's along Idaho Street primarily and with the roundabout. Here's a few pictures of the construction carried out for the extension of Idaho Street, the Idaho Street 4th and 4th Avenue roundabout, and frontage transportation improvements associated with the west end portion of the Millworks project between Post Street and Lincoln Street. In 2025, the agency continued its review of a second reimbursement request from A&A Construction and Development for costs related to the construction of public infrastructure as part of the Millworks and North Mill 1 project. The review of these construction costs totaling $2,422,418 by the agency's consulting engineers is nearing completion. The agency executed its first minor projects reimbursement agreement under the minor projects program during 2025. The agreement is with Post Falls Aerie number 3682, the Fraternal Order of Eagles, an Idaho nonprofit corporation, for its project at 209 East 4th Avenue. The agreement covers city-required frontage improvements associated with the 2018 City Center Parking Plan. This slide shows the 3-year comparison of tax increment received during the calendar year by each district. The top 4 rows are closed districts. The increment previously associated with these closed districts is now received by the underlying taxing districts, including the city. Post Falls Tech and downtown districts continue to have healthy increment growth around 46% each year as a result of new development expanding the tax base in each district. This tax increment will provide for timely reimbursement of current and future district projects. Here are a few highlights between fiscal year 2024 and 2025. Our increment revenue increased as project development, resulting in an expanded tax base. That was the result of an expanded tax base in active URDs. Our interest revenues increased marginally as district expenses reimbursements, particularly in the downtown urban renewal district, were offset by increased tax increment revenue deposits into the agency's capital improvements fund. Cash assets increased as tax increment remittances exceeded district expenses. Our loan liabilities remained at zero as the agency has not taken on any debt after the early payoff of the Green Ferry overpass in 2021. Proponent obligations decreased as the agency continued reimbursement of approved project costs in the downtown district. Our approved operating budget increased as costs for goods and services continue to rise due to overall inflationary pressures. Our actual operating expenses increased approximately 11.5% due to rising costs associated with the agency's audit, employee compensation, network support, internet services, and computer software licensing costs. On behalf of the Urban Renewal Commission, I'd like to, I'll thank the city staff and administration for their dedicated work and their cooperation with the agency throughout the year, and thank the mayor and the city council for their willingness to work in partnership with us. And then lastly, recognize that urban renewal and tax increment financing are effective tools for these particular items. That concludes the agency's annual report presentation.
Thank you, Joe. That looks great. Any questions or comments?
No, other than I didn't see anything other than what you mentioned, adding the current valuations on those closed districts. I think that'd be a good kind of tells the entire story of the lingering effects, or the lasting effects, rather.
Right.
Maybe something I'd suggest, considering we have some new council members as well, is how our agency fits contextually into what other agencies are doing around the country. Or in Boise, my understanding is we have a more prudent and well looked upon approach and track record. Maybe that would be worthwhile, just even if it's just another bullet point to highlight that, because some council members' perceptions might be painted by maybe what's going on at other agencies or how they're handling their agency in Boise.
That's a very good point. Thank you, Commissioner.
Good point, Joe.
Yeah, one major distinction is other urban renewal agencies actually own real estate, or they might be in the landlord business, renting out properties and things like that. We we don't do that. It's only providing the mechanism for that public infrastructure.
Well, Chair Fleshman, with a motion with a roll call vote would be in order to approve the agency's 2025 annual report as presented, and with the recommended revisions, of course, and then to submit it to the City of Post Falls and state offices as required by Idaho Code.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Leffel,
Aye.
Clemenson,
Aye.
Rodriguez,
Aye.
Coles,
Aye.
Fleshman,
Aye.
Parmentier.
Aye.
Joe, when do you submit that to the city?
I will present that at the second meeting. I think it's March 17th.
Okay.
And then I will be submitting it to the Legislative Audits Division of the State Controller's Office.
Okay. Thank you so much for putting that together.
You are welcome.
Looks like motion carried, and we'll move right along to our staff report and updates.
The only item I have on our staff report is to report our year-ending tax reporting to the IRS, and the Idaho State Tax Commission for 2025 has been successfully completed. That always helps me feel good, since getting those little details taken care of, so, or big details. That concludes my staff report.
Okay, do we have any commissioner comments? Okay, chairman comments. Commissioner Crosby and I went to the that was land use training that was put on by the city. We represented the Urban Renewal Agency and learned a lot. But I think what we took out of that, and Commissioner Crosby did a really good job asking if we could put together a very similar code of I think it was ethics, code
Correct.
of ethics that he wanted to put together, and he did a really good job writing up a draft. And I think that it's really important that we all, when that's presented, take a look at that. And I think that's another thing that sets us aside from other urban renewal agencies is our transparency. And so that will be on its way for us to all take a look at, and I think that's a good thing for us all to sign. Other than that, I don't have any other comments. Anything else for the good? Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Yep, second.
Okay, aye. Everybody? Okay?
Yep.
Thank you.